my beautiful makeup lovers, thank you so much for tuning in with me today and a very warm welcome to my channel. So today we're gonna play around a little bit with Linda Hallberg products here on my channel. I ordered a bunch of stuff from her recently. It's not really a first impression. I did use already some of those in just, for myself, and so it's more like of, try on just the products. Some of them will be first impressions, some not. So I'm gonna do it like this. I'm first gonna show you the products that I got from her so you know what you can expect. Then we're gonna apply them on my face, and then we're gonna go into the into the wrap-up thoughts of this video, and yeah, that's it. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so I quickly wanted to show you which products I got from her. So I got from her the Infinity palette, the number 1, which looks like this. Is like 8 shades, and they're supposed to be used all over your face as you want them to use. You can use them on your lips, as on your cheeks, to contour, on your eyes, wherever you want to. And then I also got from her as a palette the duochrome palette, which is the Enchanted Secrets palette, which looks like this, which has 4 duochrome shades in there. So, and then I got a bunch of her crayons as well. I got the Mood crayon set, which looks like this. It comes with 5 crayons in very colorful colors. And then I got also the Rustic kit, which looks like this. And it has also 5, which are more like rustic, kind of shimmery eyeliners. So, and yeah, so what else? I also got a lipstick from her. One of her Fantasticks. This is the color Goldstone. And I also got brushes from her. So that's what we're gonna do. That's why I also look a little bit crazy right now, because I only have foundation on at the moment, and concealer and setting powder, and I did my brows. Because I don't want to do my brows on camera. Actually, I did use also one of her products for my brows, which is this color, which is called Cigar from the Infinity Palette 1. So I find actually the color match pretty nice, so it's a nice shade to do that if you have this kind of undefinable hair color, but I don't really like doing my brows on camera. I'm not good at doing brows. I don't like doing brows, so I really don't want to show that to the world. So let's just get started with applying the products. We're going to do complexion, contour, blush, highlight, and we're going to do the eyes and the lips, and then we're going to be ready with it. Okay, so first we're gonna do the contour. I'm not a good contour person, so I just do what I think is kind of good. I hope that's okay. So don't come after me if you're saying like, oh, you don't know how to contour. I know. Okay, so let's go. I'm thinking like, I don't think that any of those will be a straight up match for me. So I was thinking to go in first with the color Maffei here, which looks pretty pale here, but it does have a little bit of a brown tint to it, and then I maybe deepen it up with a little bit with one of those, but I first want to see how this works because I didn't use this palette as a contour palette yet. So you could maybe see this is really not my shade actually. I don't know, like I went back and forth between these two because I usually use the Milk Chocolate Bronzer from Too Faced, which when I mix those together and swatch it next to this one, they do look like the same color, but I don't think that is what happened here. I don't really enjoy how it goes on, but it's also, I'm bad at contouring, so I actually do smoothen it out a little bit with this powder here, with the Prime and Fine mattifying powder from Catrice, so just to make it a little less harsh. And this one will be definitely too cool toned for me. I will look like I put dirt in my face, so I don't know. We will see. What do you think, guys? Like, it's not the best thing that I did so far in my life, but I also did worse, so. Okay, let's move on to blush, because blush is actually anyway more exciting. And I decided I'll use this color, Andromeda, here to put blush in my face nicely and smoothly. So they do seem like more of a buildable thing, but no, they go on pretty nicely. Pretty nice. So using Andromeda as a blush, I really like it. I think it's a really nice shade. I really think it looks pretty. By the way, if you saw this before already, I have this kind of baby hairs here, which are super ugly. Like, look at this. What is this? What the fuck? And I don't know, like I had like a phase like half a year ago where a lot of my hair fell off, but then it regrew pretty fast again, which was just due to a lot of stress. And now I have like all over my head this kind of baby hair. It's terrible. I look like I don't know, like I look like I have a really bad cutted fringe. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Anyway, let's go back to the palette. So I'm going to do the highlight later. So now I'm going to go and do the eyes with this palette. And for this, we're going to start using the Linda Hallberg brushes, actually. And I'm going to start off everything with this color Maffei that I already used kind of as a contour. Tried to use as a contour, just to, you know, warm up the crease a little bit and everything. I did prime my eyes with a Too Faced Shadow Insurance, so it's not entirely on bare skin. Okay, so this really just warms up the crease a little bit. Is a perfect transition color in the sense of like you want to blend in one of the darker ones into it. It's gonna work, I think really nicely. I'm gonna do this with the color Cigar here. I'm gonna now kind of build up my crease more with this using the same brush. By the way, I used for this brush 304 from her, which is basically a big blending brush. It's quite dense. I like this in a blending brush, but it's not a super fluffy one. Like, not like, I don't know if I have something to compare here. Like, I don't know, this is for example the Zoeva, oh my god, the numbers are, no, the 228 Deluxe Crease one from the Top collection. And this one is really fluffy, you know, and this one is more in the dense compartment compared to that one. So just to, you know, in case you're wondering. Now we're going to go into the black shade, the color Fornax, which is the black shade in the palette. It's a matte one, and I'm going to deepen out the outer V more with this one. And I'm going to use for this the number 303 brush from her, which is a little bit a smaller version of the other one I just used. As you can see, it's just really a little bit smaller and even a little bit more compact. Okay, so after this is done, I'm going to go back into the color Cigar here, and I'm going to put it all over the lid that I didn't put like anything yet on. I'm going to try to mix it together with the black and see how this goes, and I'm also going to use the brush 303 for this. Okay, so for the next step, I already laid down a glitter glue on where I just put down the color Cigar. Basically because I want to go now into, where is it? Here. I want to go into the duochrome palette from Linda Hallberg, and I want to use one of those shades on top of this glitter glue. So I kind of put the brown as a base because those are pretty sheer. They are meant as topper shades. So I wanted to kind of put this there. And I am going to go into the color, I think I'm going to take the color Moon Wake here. And I'm going to put it like where I put down the glitter glue on both eyes. I'm going to wet my brush for this, and I'm going to use the Linda Hallberg 305 brush for this, which is kind of like one of those flat applicator brushes. I never know the correct term for any kind of brush, so I'm just going to describe them. And let's just put it on. see, it kind of lifts up the look. It makes it kind of a bit special. It's definitely a toppish shade, so you can have like a really nice subtle sheen if you just put one layer. You can build it up a little bit more like I did to make it a bit more impactful on how it is on your lid. But it depends a bit on you. But it's not, I would not call those shades that you can just put on your lid and leave it like this. At least not in the intensity that I want my shimmers to look on my lid. So just to let you know. I'm going to now back into the color, into the black. Oof. Those shades are a little bit powdery, I have to say. They have a lot of kick up, they're pretty powdery. But so far I don't have any complaints with them working on my eyes, to be honest. I think they work really nicely. And let's go back to the Infinity palette. So I'm gonna go back with the black matte of the Infinity palette and just clean up everything a little bit, like I like to say. Okay, so on the lower lash line, I'm going to go in with the color Cigar. I'm going to put it all over my lower lash line. And for this, I'm not going to use the Linda Hallberg brush because I really like to use those fellas here from the Dose of Color palettes. Come here. They always come in this 5-pan Dose of Color palettes, you know, like the Marvelous Moth, something like this. And they have like this double-sided brush, and I'm always using this one to put like the shade all under my eye. And that's what I'm going to do now as well. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the black matte again, and I'm going to put it like close to the lower lash line. I'm also not going to do this with a Linda Hallberg brush. I could probably do this with this one, which is the number 333, but I just am more comfortable to use one like this that's actually more meant for the brows. So I'm going to go into the black and deepen up the outer part of the lower lash line very close to the lashes. Okay, now let's do the inner corner highlight and the brow highlight. So for the inner corner highlight, I'm going to take the color Milky Way. I'm going to wet my brush while I'm applying it, and I think I'm also going to use it as a brow highlight. Yeah, I'm also going to use it as a brow highlight. Okay, I'm now going to put mascara, and then I'm going to put one of the crayons in my waterline. Okay, so now that we have the mascara on, I'm going to put from the Rustic crayon set that I have, which I now unpacked like this. I'll just put in there like that. And I'm going to use the color Sao Flash, which is kind of a pearlescent shade. So pretty subtle one, and I'm going to put it in my waterline. And I'm going to have this with a viewfinder, so if I come a bit too close, I'm sorry. As you can see, this is mainly crayon that kind of just lifts the look a bit, makes your eyes a bit more open. Since it's pretty dark right now, I want to choose something that opens it, but let me tell you, those go on just as nice as did this one. I think those are really amazing, the crayons. I used already a couple of them in, you know, private, let's call it like that, and I really liked it. So now I'm going to put on some highlight, and for that I'm going to use again the Infinity palette, and I'm going to use this color Virgo up here, and I'm going to use, you know, my own brush for that, like my own brush, they're all my own brushes, but I'm going to use not one of her brushes for that, because I prefer like a very fluffy small brush to apply my highlighter. Okay, so the highlight is done. As you might seen, it's not the most super blending highlight that you get there. You can build it up. Like, I don't know if you can see, it's definitely more on the subtle side. It's not this super blendy one. But okay, so a lot of people like this more subtle highlights, so I guess that's okay. But you can build it up to be impactful enough, I think. personal opinion. So now only one thing is left, which are the lips, and I have only one lipstick from her, so I'm gonna use that one. And this is her Fantastic. You can also use this supposedly as blush. I'm not so much into cream blushes, so I haven't tried this yet, but I have worn this already. So I'm just gonna put it on, and then we have the finished look. Okay, so as you can see, this one is pretty sheer. It's more like of a tinted lip balm, I would say, but a bit stronger, more towards cream lipstick. It's pretty much my lip color, that's why it doesn't show up crazy, but I do really like this one. It feels super comfortable on the lids. It doesn't last super long, but I don't mind actually. Like, I don't mind reapplying if it feels like moisturizing, smoothing on the lips and comfortable to wear. And I feel like this is the case with this one. I really like this one. The packaging feels really nice, like really luxurious. And I do like this color. It's the color Goldstone. I don't know if I mentioned this already. So yeah. Actually, this is the finished look. Okay, so let's do the review part of the video. I did use quite some times the Infinity palette on my face here, so let's speak about this first, since it's the product you saw probably the most during this video. So this is a really basic palette, obviously, and honestly I was a bit you know, surprised by myself that I wanted this, but I felt like I really like this kind of like capsule line idea. Like, you know, you buy one thing and you can buy something else to edit it. Like, I'm gonna speak about this a little bit later, but this whole capsule line idea of Linda Hallberg I really like. So I felt like, okay, to get really into the brand, you kind of need one of those, I feel. So I actually bought it because I also don't have a lot of palettes which are these multi-use palettes. You know, you can use in the face and on eyes and, you know, on your toes if you want. I just have, I think, like one other one, and that's it. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna try this again. Maybe it's something for me. And as you can see, it was a bit difficult for me to find a contour shade here that really fits me. I feel still like I look a little bit too yellow. But yeah, I don't think I will. I think I could find something that fits me if I, you know, keep on trying. But to be honest, I think I'm gonna be a bit too lazy for this. I'm just gonna grab for a contour shade, for a bronzer that I'm always using, and that's it. So for this, unfortunately, I'm a bit bummed that there's none of those colors fits me straight. So yeah, that's a bit a bummer, but okay. I mean, that's really personal, you know, preference here, because this is just not my colors, but maybe they are yours. The blush colors, they are really nice. I find them really nice. I also used this one already, like off camera, and I really liked it. And today I have this Andromeda one on, and I love it. It's a really nice kind of peachy vintage rose shade with a bit of shimmer. I really like that one. It's super pretty. And the two highlighter shades, as I already said, they are not the super most impactful highlighters that you're ever gonna get. You can build them up, but it's always gonna be a bit more this sheen from within, you know? Like, as you can see, it's not like crazy highlight, like Ofra style, but it's also not like not visible or anything. It's really subtle. So the black matte in here is actually one that one of the rare ones that I like. I don't like too much black mattes, but I find this one really easy workable. So if I have to use a black matte, I just rather use this one than many others that I have in my collection, because they keep on including them on every damn palette. But anyway, so I do think that this, if you want this, you know, if you want like one staple palette that you can build up your collection on, and you want one that offers you highlight, blush, and contour, and also a simple eye look, I don't think this is the word. I'm sorry, I have a bit of dry throat. I'm sorry. I do think that this one can offer you a good start, but I do think check out a little bit swatches if this could be a contour shade for you, because if it's not, it might not be for me. Like, it's now like, okay, probably I'm not going to be traveling with this, just as this palette, which I thought would be a cool idea if I do a business trip, but probably now not too much. But I think it really depends if you can find that shade for you in here. Yeah, so I do like this palette. A bummer about the contour shade, but I'm not mad about it, let's say. Let's explain a little bit more what I meant with the capsule line of Linda Hallberg. I think actually people know, but I just want to explain in case you don't know what I mean. So you can buy, I like about her brand that you can buy like basically this as a starter, and then you can just decide for yourself which kind of person are you. Do you like more colorful looks? Then you're probably like me, and you tend more towards picking up maybe one of her mood crayons, one of those, you know, because you can use those on your lips, you can use it on your eyes, you can use them all over your face to get creative, and I find that's really nice, and I really do like them. They are really nice. They go on so smoothly. Even in the waterline they stay pretty long, so that's really nice. And I do like that, you know, can use those to just color up the palette that you might just bought, like this one, and you can, you know, just bring in color using the mood crayons. So you might buy some of the mood crayons if you're more into color. If you buy this as the, you know, kind of basic palette from her, and you're not too much into color and you like it more neutral, you could buy, for example, her first metallic palette and just add a couple of nice metallic finishes, or this, for example, this rustic set, which is not so nicely put together anymore, but where you have like kind of shimmery, coppery crayon shades, you know, if you're more into that. Or she also has a line with like core crayons, I believe they're called, where she really just offers like basic matte colors to sculpt a bit your eyes, but nothing too intense, like nothing with shimmer or anything. So I do think you can do something really like that fits your preference based on this palette, adding selected items from her line. That's what I did, for example, also with the mood crayons, for example, and the duochrome palette, because I really like duochrome shades, and lately I actually came to appreciate this kind of a bit topper shades, more sheer duochromes, rather than this super opaque pigmented duochromes that a lot of brands brought out throughout the year, that, you know, when you look at them in one angle they are like silver, and in the other angle they are like totally blue. Because I realized for me this ends up in me from one side, and if you look at me on one side, kind of my eye, you know, my eye color matches my clothes and my outfit of the day, and from the other angle it just doesn't at all. So I have pretty weird pictures going on like that, trust me. So I came to appreciate topper shades like this, which is why I added those to the Infinity palette that I bought. And yeah, so I don't regret this. I do think this is pretty pricey for what it is, but I don't regret to buy it. I don't regret buying this. That's how you say it. And I really like to do with those like a really basic look, not necessarily using this palette, but in general any kind of like really basic, putting one transition shade all over my lid, and then putting one color to darken up the outer V, you know, the crease a bit, and then put a glitter glue, and then basically just dust this on a bit, basically like I did it today, just not that dramatic with the black and everything. So I really like this one to do that. I saw people comparing this one to Pat McGrath's shades, like special topper shades. I have also the Bronze Seduction palette with some of these special topper shades. I do think that the Pat McGrath ones have much more impact than these ones. This is where much more this kind of like subtle, more elegant, fine dust over your eyeshadow to give it a nice final touch like today. I don't think this is too impactful, but I have to say I really like that. Like it gives the whole look a whole different dimension that it didn't have before. So this is much more subtle in my opinion than the Pat McGrath ones, and it's not that crazy shiny, let's say. So I do like that. I do have a big use for those in my collection, because I don't want always this super impactful duochrome topper shade. So, you know, I have a lot of I'm very picky when it comes to this kind of shades, but I do like that one. Very expensive though, so you have to be really sure that a bit subtler, more subtle duochrome topper shades is what you really want in addition with this palette or maybe any other staple palette that you have. So then I think it's worth it. Otherwise, I don't think you will be happy with this. So yeah, that's how I built up my line of Linda Hallberg. I also bought one of her lipsticks, which I already said. Did I already say this? I absolutely love this one. I think it's such a more comfortable to wear. It's so nice. I really like how it feels on the lips. Moisturizing. The color, you have to reapply it, but it's super easy to apply it. You don't even really need a good mirror, just some reflection, and you will look good. It's really fine, and I really like that. And yeah, so the lipsticks I would totally recommend. If you're into like kind of tinted lip balm, tending to be cream lipstick, I think you will have a good time with those. And here she also puts on the packaging that you can use them as a blush. The brushes that I used in this video, I find they worked fine, like especially with these shades. I don't have any issues blending them out. I have to try them with other shades to see if it was the colors or the brushes that made everything working pretty easily here. But those two products, like the palette and the brushes itself, they do seem to work nicely together in some way. Like they really fit together. And yeah, so the crayons. So I really love the crayons. I think the crayons are awesome. I also have, for example, this one, the Atria Flash one, which is a single that I bought. And they're just so opaque and they stay in the waterline much longer than any other I have. And I really like that. I think they're really good. They're absolutely, in my opinion, worth the hype. They're pricey. I would recommend you to pick up, you know, to choose one of the kits and pick that one up, because if you pick like singles, it gets really fast, really expensive. So yeah, I do think, yeah, I'm on a good foot with Linda Hallberg. I think I do have to see how I will feel like in the end about this palette. I'm not sure yet if this was a smart purchase, because I do have staple colors in my collection. And yeah, but I do, like all the other purchases, I'm so far happy with. With this one, I still need to see. So yeah, that's basically it for today. Let me know if you tried Linda Hallberg, if you have kind of a favorite product from her, what are the things that you love from her, and what are the things you tried maybe and you didn't like too much. If this is the case, just let me know. Also what you think about her line. Do you like this kind of capsule line? I feel really intrigued by this, but I don't know if this is something that people want actually, or if they just want this kind of companies that offer them like this kind of like release 5 palettes a month and you will for sure find once in a while one that you like. I feel more like lately tending towards the kind of Linda Hallberg style, but I would like to know what you think about that. So that would be great if you leave me a comment about that. And also give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of video. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, so I can see you here in my next video. Bye bye!